All
Yeah. Oh,
right. Let's get this thing started. What do you say? Ready, everyone? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's rock. All right, cool. Well, it is currently August 14th, 2024. Good to be here with everyone yet again. It is fun to do this every Wednesday, creates that drumbeat. And of course, we are always looking to progress and improve the direction that we're going in. It is not always easy, as we know, as we're journeying down the path of life and business and growth, but coming together allows us to not maybe feel alone at times, and we can ask the questions that are needed to be able to move things forward. The only silly question is the one unasked. We say it every week, and so please don't hesitate with any questions that you may have. Down at the very bottom, you have your reactions button. You also have the chat window. Feel free to chat with everyone or individually. And as you're going through this roundtable, I do strongly recommend that you also have a notepad handy or something to type down some notes, because you will absolutely, I believe, tonight have some golden nuggets. And actually tonight we have a special announcement to make and an introduction to something that we've been working on for Alex Coring. How long have we been working on this, man? Over a year for sure.
year. Well, since April would be a year, so a year and 4 months.
Year and 4 months we've been working on something special for you guys, and it's finally ready. It's here, and we're super excited to be making the very first announcement on the AK Roundtable here tonight. And there's going to be something that we're going to be sharing with you guys that allows you to operate year round, 12 months a year, and it allows you to work indoors and outdoors. And it's also a cash cow. It's a pretty underserved market as well. There's a lot of demand around that. And so stay tuned. That's coming up shortly. But of course, before we jump into that, let's go through some wins. I know Stephen just shared a win. Let's go ahead and share some more wins on anyone's side. Let's do it. Let's get a couple more wins, and then we're going to dive right into what we want to show you guys. Any wins on anyone's side? Scott, you're selling a property, I see. That's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, bro. A piece of real estate I own, like 1.665 acres, so a little under 2 acres, 3 bedroom, 1.5 bath, little property, nice little wooded piece, has a nice freshwater creek that runs through it. But yeah, it was a great turnout. That was a win, bro. I mean, we had like 50 people at an open house. So, I mean, anybody that knows real estate knows that's like amazing, amazing turnout. I mean, like it was almost like unbelievable. Me and the guys were talking, and they were like, dude, this is nuts. Like we have not had an open house like this in a long time. So hopefully 2 weeks the auction goes well, and we make some good cash. On the asphalt side of things, we got a sick project going on. It's a good account of ours we do every year. But we got like $45,000 worth of curb painting going on, curb painting and fire lane at a school district near us. So it's a great account we have every year. They do it every single year. It is a huge priority for them. So it's a nice gig. Past, like, 15, 20 years they've been doing it. Two schools, the paint is so thick it's like chipping off. So we're doing some time and material of paint removal as well on the curbs. So we got a crew on that. It's been fun.
Congrats, man. Congrats. You did a badass stenciling job. We saw you post on the group, the stenciling job. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Like
and then photo
that's
after
great. No,
photo of all the different jobs, right?
yeah, I was like, yes, some of those are stencils. Congratulations. That's how we paint custom things. But yeah, the rest of this is definitely not a stencil. Look at the layout. Tell me if you can go paint lines like this or do the thing. And then I had to show them a couple other jobs that, we stenciled too, so
Yeah,
the
I
crap.
was smiling at that, but yeah, that was awesome. Do you have it handy on your phone there by chance? Do you have it?
Yeah, yeah, it's right here.
Or
Give me like
or
five
on your
seconds.
laptop, do you have it?
No, I don't have it on my laptop. I just took
Check this out, everyone. It's pretty badass. Let me put you in the spotlight. You see that? By the way, that's not like a blackboard on a wall. That's like that's how many square feet is that?
I forget how many square feet it really was. I mean, it's probably like 60 by 300, if not more.
So
But
that's like
yeah,
a drone shot.
yeah, that's a drone shot. We're up in the air doing drones. Two full courts. Like perspective, this round circle in between the courts there, that circle is 24-foot round. So it goes to show how big that, that piece it actually is. I wish I could get it clear. I mean, every hopscotch, everything. I mean, I think we got nine or so custom colors made for that project. Um, all different paint. You might be able to see this. This gives a
Nice.
Badass, man.
What'd you do with the circle? Did you just walk it out or did you tape it?
we have a tape machine, so we laid out everything on the paths, like you'll see the sensory path over here, that we did. So we laid everything out, we taped it with our tape machine. We laid all that stuff out and then put all the games in between the lines. And we were gonna typically we would just open the front wheel and freehand something like that, but a lot of the stuff ran over top of each other and random weird things. So we taped everything and went along, laid everything out. Yeah. That's why when he said I
What's that
stenciled it, I
worth?
wanted to show him some
What's that
other
worth? What's a project like that go for, bro?
9,500.
Got
So
it.
right under
Amazing.
right under 10 grand, we had $1,120 in paint, and I had $1,100 in some stencils. That Caterpillar was a stencil, and the Foursquare, or not the Foursquare, the hopscotch that had like all the different colored boxes with the numbers in it. That was a stencil. So we got a custom couple of stencils there and some paint. 9,500. We were there 1.5 days.
That's awesome, man. Congrats.
Thanks, bro.
Awesome. Any other wins? Billy, what's up, man?
Sorry, I'm on the phone, so I got to relearn where all the buttons are. Yeah. So, speaking of win, I got a job from a striping company from New York that is the general contractor that's got me my first auto parts that I'm doing at O'Reilly's up here this coming week. Pressure washing and striping, and so I upgraded my pressure washer, got me a commercial unit, something that looks professional, something new, and I got me a drone so I could update my TikTok and be a little bit more professional with that, and moving forward with YouTube and platforms. So I'm looking forward to growing. Like I said, I got two more months before I'm out, and I got a few big jobs. That one of them is a beachfront property of about 60,000 square foot, crack fill, seal coat, and stripe. But the problem is with this job, they need somebody to come in there and fix the drainage. So I'm not sure if I want to tackle that project alone.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking, well, I'm gonna go in there with confidence, but I wanted to reach out to y'all and see if you're on it, because they laid the property and they said it was paved in the 80s and there was no positive drainage. There's no catch basins. They say it just runs through the asphalt and goes into the sand. And and their worry is putting a sealer on top of it will only magnify the problem because it won't allow the water to seep through the asphalt, which kind of tripped me up because I was always under the impression you don't want water intrusion through your asphalt, right?
Unless so they make a thing called permeable pavement where it actually allows water to flow through. So I mean, if it's not paved with permeable pavement, all they're doing is destroying the integrity of their job currently, right? They're letting asphalt go, super oxidized asphalt, water's going through it, it's going to the subbase, it needs sealed, and the drainage issue, so really the job needs fixed from, pavement perspective or a pitch perspective. But if it's permeable pavement, you do not want to seal that off. We have, you'll see it in a lot of large settings with like commercial real estate and things like that. We have a lot of like really big churches that have like parking lots that are 1 million, 2 million square, and they actually, township code makes them put permeable pavement and drainable pavement in where water actually gets through the substrate because the amount of water runoff, they couldn't handle it, right? So there actually is such a thing, but if that's not it, that's definitely, I would find a paver and fix the issue, right?
Yeah, I was gonna reach out to some paving companies nearby and see if they wanted to tackle something like that. At least go with walk the property with me, with the owners, and see if they would kind of offer me as do the subcontracting for the striping at least.
Yep. We're actually looking at installing a job right now out in Ohio, on a farm, and the guy has a ton of water issues. We quoted it originally, just straight pavement. And then he was like, "Hey man, we have a huge water issue out here. I can't get water to go anywhere." Dom, correct me. What did he say? Like $300,000 or something in dirt work already to try and get water to run away and put drains in and stuff. Like, I mean, ridiculous amount of money he's spent trying to correct this water issue. And I was like, well, adding blacktop on top of gravel is honestly going to make it worse, bro. Like you're giving it, a surface that isn't going to seep through. But then, again, that's an angle we're currently using right now. Like, hey, how about permeable pavement? Get the water, water issue and grading 100. Let us come in, put some permeable pavement in, and the water will still seep down through the sub base, go into those tile drains, and take it away from the property. So it's another thing that not a lot of people know about or are presenting or pitching, and there is a huge niche angle there, and definitely will stand out when you can bring some of these things up.
I appreciate you, Skylar. That was good advice, brother.
Yeah, man.
Chad Keeping. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, last Friday I was at a dealership in Tilsonburg, Kia, and I really didn't want to go because the wife was looking to trade in her vehicle, and I knew what was going to happen. So I thought, why not? I'll go entertain it. So I went and entertained it, and then I talked to the general manager, and I said, I was looking at your asphalt out there. You got cracks. You got some pretty bad cracks there. You need crack fill. He says, well, quote my parking lot because I have 39 other parking lots that need work, and maybe we could work something out. I said, oh yeah. He goes, did your wife buy a new vehicle yet? And I said, yeah, it's a done deal. He goes, okay, that's good to know. And
Nice.
so I measured out the cracks at the Tilsonburg location, and it's like $6,500. So
Nice, man. Good,
and like
good start, right?
yeah, and like he said, he's got 39 more locations. So who knows that's gonna bring, right? So
I know exactly what it's gonna bring.
lots of dollars.
Bring home the bacon, buddy.
Oh
You
yeah.
got your wife's got a new car for now, right? We got to get another car. We got to upgrade down the road here too, bud. Let's
Oh,
go.
I know. Yeah.
Congrats on the new car, and congrats on opening the doorway. You want to know something, Chad? We say this often, right? Like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Anybody know who said that? Come on, Wayne Gretzky?
Wayne Gretzky. I have the stick.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
I look at that stick every day.
Do you want to hear a funny story? I'll tell you a funny story. My wife, Mindy, was Wayne Gretzky and Janet Gretzky's corporate flight attendant. She flew them around on a private jet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Cool story,
Wild.
right?
That's
Yeah,
wild.
wild. Yeah, yeah. She didn't even know who it was. She's like, I used to fly this guy Wayne around, and I'm like, a hockey player. I'm like, Wayne Gretzky? She's like, yeah, I think that's what his name was. She was like, down south in Houma, Louisiana.
Yeah.
They do a lot of shrimping down there.
Yeah. Yeah. For
Not
sure.
much hockey, but man, can they cook. Anyway,
Yeah.
Congratulations, Chad. Let's roll.
Yeah.
Pedal to the metal. Speaking about some niche stuff, like that's what I want to start to move into here. Alex, I'm just stoked to be doing this right now, man. This is super exciting. Like over a year worth of time has gone into this, but there's also there's decades of time that has gone into actually coming to the point of being able to create what we're about to share. And that is something pretty darn incredible. So for all of you that have notepads, or you're probably going to want a notepad, but I'd tune into this for all of you who are live right now, and also for people who are going to watch the recording for 48 hours. There's going to be something cool that's going to be presented here to you guys. So Alex, let's talk about grinding, man. Sidewalk Safety is a company that, of course, that provides grinding services and started to add additional services down the line. But why don't you take us back? Take us back in time, and then we'll share what we've got.
Yeah, so sidewalk safety was originally sidewalk grinding. That was the sole focus of the company. So my father-in-law Gary started the company, I think it's 28 years ago. So I've been on board 8 years. I changed the name 8 years ago just to kind of I wanted to offer a couple of more things, and he was just so tied to the name sidewalk grinding because he'd had it for 20 years. And I was like, hey, well, we should start doing maybe some crack repair and maybe some concrete. And so, I was like, hey, what do you think about changing the name to Sidewalk Safety? And that was a bite. I didn't know at the time back then, like this division was, we're just going to do sidewalk. It was just be a sidewalk company until I met you, and then I started diversifying into the pavement side of things. But yeah, he had a very successful business as a sole proprietor for 20 years, and literally a man in a machine. He just had a pickup truck and one machine. Well, he had a couple of machines, but he'd throw him in the back of his pickup truck, and he had a little ramp. He'd push him up by himself up into the back of the pickup truck and roll around doing cold calls and finding clients, slowly growing his business. By the time I came around, he had about 400, 500 clients that were, semi-regular. It just, every year he'd do grinding on certain properties, and other properties it'd be every 2 or 3 years, but he had his Rolodex, if you will, and client list, and he'd go out there and pound the pavement, making cold calls, and did that for many years. And once he built up that clientele, it wasn't as much cold calling. But I came in 8 years ago, like I said, and said, hey, let's modernize your company. If you'll see, if you take the course, at that time he was fax blasting everybody. That was his his method of marketing. So he was using old school techniques, and making 6 figures, bought a house, was doing very well for himself, but didn't really have that path for retirement. And he said, hey, you're 67, you're out grinding concrete. Let's talk about hiring some folks on and training them how to do what you do, train me how to do what you do, and I'll carry the torch forward. So here we are, 8 years later, I've 22x this company as last year's revenue. And that was
22x'd the company, everyone. Just listen to that. 22x'd it.
And that was through diversifying our product offering, right? So we've grown the grinding business. We've doubled, tripled the grinding work. So we do between $250,000, 300,000 in grinding a year. So, it's about double or triple what he was doing. But we just started adding more and more services. We had that captured audience with that client base, and we're on the property, we have the relationship. Hey, let's add this service, let's add that service. First thing we added was crack filling asphalt and seal coating, and then we grabbed the line striper and started doing that, and now we're doing paving. So we just kind of keep adding products. Last year we did paving stones, so we just do all the excavation work for pavers. We were doing pool decks, all kinds of different stuff. Once you have that captured audience, that client list, it's way easier to ask them for another service than it is to just go out and find new clients, and turn and burn those clients. Today I was installing bollards. I was telling Judd earlier, we put in 2 bollards for $5,000. I think we made like two and a half or $3,000 a day with 2 guys out there for a few hours. So, diversification of what you're doing is the key to growing your business and being successful and adding that, all important revenue to the bottom line.
So this is really kind of a fun point, and I'm going to take us off spotlight because I want to ask a question to everyone. And I know there's people who are not on video. If you can come on video, because I'm going to ask a question, I want to just see a show of hands if possible. Who here is in the asphalt industry? I think everyone is, right? Like we're all in the asphalt industry, right? And so let me ask another question. What kind of business do you run? Stephen, what kind of business do you run?
I run a sales and marketing company that happens to provide asphalt services.
Got it. Cool. And anyone else? What, like Billy, what kind of business do you run? Own and run.
Well, I'm in the business of making customers happy and finding solutions for them. So,
Cool.
but Joe, earlier today, I forgot about this. I never took a exterior painting job, right? But one of the customers that I've done a parking lot for, a bank, they want me to paint around their dumpster pad and their fencing. So, do I do it? No, but do I have the equipment already to do it? Yes, you can take your Titan 3500, run exterior paint through it, and just clean it out, and so you got to be a little jack of all trades. Expanding your market to the, I think it was Alex that said that, to the clients that you already have is key.
Couldn't agree more, and especially if they're high margin, right? Like that's something that's really sexy, I think, to a business. Who here would like to have like year-round opportunity for cash flow? Right. Yeah, right. Who here thinks that seal coating is going to shut down once you start seeing 50 degrees? Right. And who here knows that you can't seal cracks when there's ice filled in the cracks and so on and so forth, right? For those of you that take the Tiger torch out and heat up the cracks with ice, or you take a heat lance, shame on you. But bottom line is that you guys are kind of stuck when it's asphalt maintenance and repairs relating to crack sealing and seal coating. You're kind of stuck. You can get out and do some infrared patching. That's a temporary patch repair. The thing that's interesting about what we're showing you here relating to grinding, and again, think sidewalk safety, think 28 years, think about Alex and his father-in-law who know the business like the back of their hands. Alex came down to Anguilla to visit with our family, and we've spent some good time together. And I remember sitting out in the center area outside in the middle of the property. And I looked at Alex. Alex, you're nodding your head right now because you remember, I'm sure, that moment. And it was just like, dude, you guys are the best of the best. Like, you guys are the godfathers. You guys are the authority when it comes down to grinding. The name of your company is Sidewalk Safety. You guys know everything about it. Let's launch a freaking course, dude. Like, let's build the most badass grinding course to teach people everything that they need to know from A to Z about grinding, including the resources and the collateral that's needed to accompany all the video training that's taking place inside of the course. And then what we'll do is we'll launch the course together, combined effort, right? We'll do a collab, launch that to the Asphalt Kingdom network, and help more people have income that's going to run throughout the 12 months a year, so that we don't have these big drops in income that end up impacting the oxygen, which is the cash for you and your family. And so it's our responsibility at AK and the professionals out there like Alex and others on here, coaches and so on. It's our responsibility to work together as a community to come up with solutions that can keep money moving all year round. Does everybody agree with that, or am I on a different planet? Does that make sense? So if we had the opportunity to teach you guys how to actually go out and build a grinding business the right way, without going through the school, without having to go through the school of hard knocks and all the ups and downs and all the rounds and all the shit that you have to go through when you're starting out from scratch. If we could prevent you guys from doing that, and we could get you on the fast lane to building a grinding business in a very short period of time, like within 30 days of knowing how to go out and grind and actually scale your business, how to prospect, how to draft your proper assessments, to give the certificates, to be able to close the deals through proposals, to be able to build those lifelong accounts that open up that portal for other pavement management solution services that you're going to provide. Then we are doing you guys that service that's needed right now. And so we're going to show you this. Check this out. Let me
Hey,
know
Judd,
when you guys.
I want to throw something in there real quick before we jump in.
Of course, let's do it.
My business, sidewalk grinding was Gary's company name, and like I said, 20 years. But his brother-in-law also runs a grinding company in Texas. And he's doing take home. He's taking home like 350, 400,000 a year take home just from that. He's got a cousin in New York, got a grinding business. He's got a cousin in Florida, also has a grinding business. I mean, it's in our family, right? So it truly is a family business across the board. There are other companies out there, some national companies. One of them, I'll just drop the names. They're a competitor, but we don't really see them too much anymore. Precision Concrete Cutting, they have a slightly different way of doing things. But they were at one point, 5 or 6 years ago, one of the fastest growing franchises in the country, opening up locations all over the place. And to buy into that franchise, I looked into it, just to kind of see what their model was. That was $65,000 to get trained on their process and to slap their name on it. What we're bringing to you guys in this course is like the kickstart for that business, and you can buy into it for a fraction of the cost. Obviously, the course is really a point of entry just to learn about it. We're going to be doing in-field training at a training center out here in California for folks that are interested in doing that, and just diving deeper into it. But like if you went to another competitor, say national, and wanted to get into this as a franchise, you'd be dropping 65 grand to get this knowledge. So it's a tremendous value.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, and that's the thing that's incredible is that like we've been able to actually do this at a price that is extremely affordable to everyone out there to go do this and to help people. There's a lot of people struggling out there to make money, and having this service that's in demand is a beautiful thing. Check this out, everyone. Let me know if you can see my screen right now. And by the way, like you guys are going to be getting something really special on here as a side note. So this is the AK Pro grinding course. The regular retail on this course is going to be $999. Don't pay attention to that. Okay, that's what we're selling it for. That's going to be retail. That will be the price tag that you will see online as the main retail. Welcome to the grinding course. Judd Burden here with Alex Coring, the president and owner of Sidewalk Safety. We've worked really hard for the last 6 months putting together this grinding course to bring you everything that you need in a step-by-step fashion to teach you everything about this grinding business. Alex, I know you've got so much content on the inside of this course here and so many pieces of that secret sauce that you're going to be sharing, man. I'm excited to go into this with you, bud.
Yeah, it's really great. The goal of this course is to get you familiar with all the equipment that you're going to need, from grinders, all the different types that we use, vacuum systems, and get you going. Basically, soup to nuts, everything that you need to know about grinding is going to be contained in this course.
Let's go. See you on the inside. All right, check this out. Can everyone see my screen right now? All right, cool. So
Looks
there's
great.
going to be a complete, I know, Matthias, you had a chance to go through some of it. Did you watch the whole thing, Matthias?
I watched that video. I didn't watch everything else. No, I read through
Got
all
it.
this, but it looks great.
Got it. So we have literally, and maybe Alex, you want to dig through this, bro? Like there's so much that is in here. And then I'm going to actually, I mean, here, why don't we just jump into it? Here it is. So Alex, let's roll through this. Go ahead and walk through it.
Yeah, so we did a couple of introduction videos, but just talking about the industry in general, what the opportunity is, who to go after. And then we did a couple of days filming in the field with my crew, and it's all different applications. So we did trip hazards, we did a pool deck, we did you know, using hand grinders, we did planetary grinders, we went over grinding off paint markings off of asphalt. So, you know, if you're out line striping, you need to take care of some lines to get rid of them. We went through all that. We go through literally all of the machines and what are the pros and cons of each type of machine and what your setups are, how to get started, how to set up your shop, all the equipment and supplies and maintenance. And so what, you know, whatever goes wrong in the field, how to fix it, what kind of tools you need to bring with you, either on the truck and have in the shop, to be able to repair these machines yourself. Pretty much everything that it takes to get started is included in this course. And there's quite a few videos that Judd and I did where we walked through a bunch of B-roll and talked about, you know, what the process is, why we're doing certain things, how to estimate. So we did a whole day in the field, following me around doing estimates, doing some cold calls, and then I have a session where I go through on my computer how to put together a proposal and you know, our system for documenting what work needs to be done on a property, how to set that up, and then, you know, integrating this with AK Dash. So AK Dash is going to be if you guys are using that, a source of generating these leads and generating proposals, putting those together and closing these deals down. And they're basically, you know, we're each worker per day is generating around $2,000 in revenue. So you can do that with basically a gas can. That's your material cost. So you're really not having to spend much. From a material standpoint, you know, you have the upfront investment in some machinery, but you know, you could literally get started for under 15 grand and you could be making $2,000 a day in profit. So what is that, like 8 days? In 8 days of work, you can pay for all of your equipment setup.
Thanks, Alex. So you can see the introduction over here, a lot of video, setting up your business, all the details in there, concrete grinding work that's in there as well. And you've got all of the videos, and then you of course have all of the collateral as well. We're offering it to the AK Roundtable community for $500. So that's if you want access to this pro grinding course, that is literally the engine, the gears, the components of what Alex actually does with his business. You have access to all of that. And I'll tell you, like, the time that has been put into this is over the top incredible. Like Alex, for those of you that know Alex, and Alex, I'm just gonna, I don't mean to make you blush here, but like, I just want to say this out loud to everyone. Alex Coring is one of the most badass human beings I've ever met in my life. And I know for coaches on here who know Alex, and for people who know Alex, like he's not a guy that just settles for average. The amount of time, resources, dedication, the writing, the video content, like this course has cost multiples of tens of thousands of dollars to create, just to be clear, between both companies. So I want you to know that you're getting access to that. That's $500, guys. That's going to be available to you guys if you want it. It's going to be available for 48 hours. We're not going to run it forever. But for 48 hours, you have access to it for $500. I'm gonna drop the link, the coupon code and the link in here as well, so you guys have that. I will be dropping that right now. This is the coupon code for 50% off. It's half off sale. And then I will be dropping the URL in the chat as well for anyone that wants it. This is a year-round business. It is one that can be done indoor, outdoor, pool decks, and it's highly in demand. And Alex, we've gone through all the equipment suggestions as well as to what people need in here. And you can literally start this business. Like, what's the lowest amount of money, Alex, that somebody could start a grinding business and be safe out there if they were buying that equipment? What would be the lowest entry if you were to pin a number more or less?
You could get a machine probably for, you know, $4 grand. When I started in the business, we weren't using vacuum systems. You know, OSHA kind of has cracked down on that. You can go out and grind. I mean, you're grinding in a cloud of dust, silica dust, which isn't great. You need to wear a respirator. So, you know, if you step up and get a vacuum system, you're tacking on another $3 grand. Put it on a cart with a generator and tow it around. That's the low cost entry. And then sort of our higher end systems are all-in-one vacuums and generators. They're combined and they're a little bit heavier. You have to have a trailer that has a lift gate on it, like a ramp door to push it up into. So, you know, you add on the cost of the trailer and the vacuum, but it's all in one and it's a lot more, you know, a lot more simplified. But literally, if you just went out and got kind of the low end vacuum and a grinder, you're pushing around, you know, $8,000 maybe total. Yeah.
$8,000, and the margins on the grinding side of things are running in the 70s, 70, 80s.
Yeah. I mean, you got some grinding teeth, you know, they're $5 a piece ish, depending on the machine. Might have to replace a couple a week. And then you got about a couple of gallons of gas a day. That's it.
So less than a pack of smokes.
It's pretty cheap. Yeah. And so, you know, a lot of times we'll send out a crew. We have 3 or 4 guys grinding. We could do like $8,000 in revenue in a day. Pretty easy. Those are some pretty big grinding jobs. But we just did one last week for $20,000. It was one grinding job. And you know, you can do this when it's super cold outside, doesn't matter. As long as it's not like raining, you wouldn't want to work in the rain. But outside of that, you can do it wherever. You can do it indoors. If you're removing paint markings from warehouses, you know, Amazon, they have a lot of paint marks that they get put down. I think Skylar gets involved in that kind of stuff too, where you guys do some warehouse work and some striping. They need to move the lines every so often. So it's applicable in warehouses. We have commercial real estate properties that call us all the time. You know, door jams. They have a tree root that lifts up a piece of concrete in front of a door and it doesn't open up. And, you know, we go out and do one grind and it's $600 for one grind and we're there for 20 minutes. We've done airports and hangar doors. We've worked for big construction companies where they'll do like a concrete sidewalk pour. They'll have, you know, 100-foot stretch of sidewalk and 20 feet of it's out of ADA compliance. We'll go and grind down the high side and slap some Ardex on top of it and float it back to smooth and then put a berm finish on it, you know, make 10 grand in an afternoon doing things like that for bigger construction companies. Once you get your name out there, it's our phone doesn't stop ringing. Like we have so many leads coming in. We're constantly going out and doing these assessments. I would say the best thing about this business is the fact that you're on every single property every 6 months to 12 months doing a safety inspection for that company. Whether it be commercial apartment, we do a lot
about that. Alex, speak more about that, the safety inspection with like that certificate that you provide and so on.
Yeah, so we do, hold on a second.
This is awesome. What you guys are about to hear is like a part of the secret sauce that he shares that really allows for some real solid trust to be built between the prospect and client and himself. So yeah, Alex, tell us about it.
Yeah, so we go out and we do a safety inspection. We provide certificates of insurance. A lot of properties have to get bank inspections every so often to get funding. And so they'll actually send a team of inspectors from the insurance company. They come out and look at the properties and say, hey, you need to fix these things before getting funding. There's a lot of government funded properties that have REAC inspections and safety inspections on the property. They used to have a really heavy focus on the exteriors of these places. They're a little bit more focusing on the inside in the last couple of years, but they put out a publicly available list of inspections that are going on government funded properties. That'd be like HUD or a Section 8 housing. And so you can literally get a list of where inspections are going on. But when we go out there and we do the safety inspection every 6 months or a year, we're basically just building that relationship, taking care of the pain point. So safety is obviously a primary factor for a lot of these properties. They don't want to, go through a lawsuit, trip and fall, and heaven forbid somebody does fall and get injured. A lot of calls that we get are reactive instead of proactive. So somebody tripped and fell, there's a lawsuit. Okay, now they have to go out and fix these things. But what we do with our certificates of inspection is we go out and do the safety inspection, and then we provide them a document that says, hey, I understand that there's trip hazards on the property and we've budgeted for it, and we're moving to remove these liabilities from the premises. That kind of helps with litigation when it comes to showing negligence. If a plaintiff can say, hey, you knew about all these trip hazards and did nothing about it, then they can show negligence and they pretty much automatically will settle out of court. So we try and protect our clients with documentation saying they've been inspected, and we keep records of all of that. I could show you guys how to keep all that documentation. With a lot of our stuff, we do before and after pictures as well. So we keep those records. So if, say an apartment complex comes to us and says, hey, somebody tripped and fell, we need the last 5 years or 4 years of documentation saying where you guys did grinding on the property and how much was done. We get asked for that quite often when there is a lawsuit that comes up. So staying relevant to your clients all year round is really important when those bigger seal coating jobs come up. That for us out here in California, it's like every 4 years, maybe 5 years, they'll seal coat. But if we're out there every single 6 months or year on the property, we're the first person that gets that call. Just because we've had the opportunity to develop that relationship, and it wasn't like we seal coated and I'll see you in 4 years, and then who cares? They don't know you. They're just shopping you again at that point.
Well, it also builds enterprise value for you, man. Like the value of your company will increase depending on the number of average orders per customer as well, right? Lifetime value is an important thing. And you got to look at the margin associated with that, right? Imagine you're seal coating and you're crack sealing. Well, imagine seal coating has a margin of X, and then you look at your grinding aspect of your business. Like, do I want to have $1 million business with a $200,000 EBITDA, or do I want to have a $400,000 business with a $200,000 EBITDA? And the answer is, I want both. But the reality of it is, if you can add high margin services within your offering, it only is going to improve. And it also cuts out a lot of risk associated with. Has anyone ever seen where seal coat plants might be short on seal coat? Have you seen that over the last 3 years somewhere? Anyone here, raise your hand if you've seen shortage of seal coat in 3 years when there was no asphalt. Like, okay, during those shortages and you can't seal coat, imagine what that does for your company if you're only seal coating. And it's like really important. So like, as we're on here, I'm just seeing this as a pavement management solutions company. you should be able to provide multiple solutions, whether you're self-performing at high margin or you have performance partners to execute. That's what you really need to be doing. However, if you're going to have a performance partner execute on some grinding work for you, you should know what the business is about. And that's why, you know, a course would be good for you guys to go through that stuff versus going out there and self-learning it and trying to figure it out. I know, Skylar, you're listening in and you've been, and Dom, I think you had your hand up. Are you still here, Dom? But Skylar, I know that you're listening in and you do a variety. There's a wide spectrum of offerings that you have with ProSeal. And so can you maybe, like, as you're hearing this and you're seeing this course straight up, man, like what are your thoughts? What's your feedback? Because I haven't even asked you, to be honest, so everyone gets to hear it right now.
I mean, my biggest thing, you know, that I was wanting to add on to Alex's of like where to find jobs and stuff is find people like me. If I had guys that would prep jobs for me all day long, it would be brainless. You know what I mean? Like, to be honest, it's like to me, it's the part that I don't want to do. We still do it. We still, you know, do a lot of it. But if I could just go in and install and do the art, you know, like I like the creative side of it, right? You know, the grinding side for us is very monotonous, you know, for me at least. So I like to go in and lay floors, and I like to go in and do epoxy work, and I like to go in and do that stuff. So if Alex was in Pennsylvania, I'd be like, yo, Alex, come grind this 500 square foot garage. I do have some guys like this, and it's the same thing, guys, whether it's a 6-inch lip on a piece of concrete or if it's a 10,000 square foot concrete floor. Like, it is the same concept of what you're doing, maybe not quite as aggressive, but it's economy of scale where, you know, we hire guys very, very often where we're paying $2, you know, $1.50, $1.75 a foot, you know, and we talk about that on the seal coating side, you know, we're at 20 cents, whatever it is, you know, whatever you guys are at on your seal coating side per square foot. When grinding concrete floors, you know, I'll pay $1.50 all day long to get a job prepped for me because I want to come in and lay my resin and, you know, create a piece of art. So, you know, that's another vertical, right? Finding epoxy contractors, finding things like that. You know, we do, I don't want to say we offer a significant variety, sorry. I don't want to say we offer a significant variety of, you know, stuff. We stay in our lane with asphalt and epoxy. That's it. You know, like, of course, concrete and grinding falls into those niches, but I'm not like all over the place with a bunch of stuff. So we do offer more than just asphalt. But yeah, I mean, epoxy contractors, guys, I'm sure that you guys are starting to see it semi-often. Epoxy is a very big thing right now. Everybody wants it done. Everybody wants it installed somewhere. You know what, even industrial warehouses, the
And
same
you need to grind.
facility, yeah, and the same facility you guys are in, right, are having these verticals. The same warehouse that you're painting their lines outside are the same opportunities where their sidewalks need grind, are the same opportunities where they're going to call you and say, hey, we need this bathroom done. We just got a call again from you know, DHL, a large shipping facility, and same thing. They're like, hey, you know, it's been a great, you know, they're another great account for us, but it went from seal coating the parking lot that was like 440 grand to, hey, we're going to hold off, we're going to pave it next year, to a $3 million quote, to, hey, our bathroom just flooded, water poured down on our 480 electric line, we need our bathroom epoxy floored right this minute, right? Where all that prep, you know, it's like 1,400 square foot, all that prep. If I could have one of these guys that are already trained go in there and execute that job for me, like, I would have been like, yep, go do it right now, because I want to go produce money with my other line items that are, you know, we're staying in our lane with, and let somebody do that. And then let us come in and finish the job because we're very, very good detail guys, right? You know, so just being able to have those capabilities is amazing.
Yeah, I would say like, you know, when I first got into the business and we were just doing sidewalk grinding, we were walking past all of these tear outs. I mean, they're all over the place. You know, we just wrapped up a project today. 2 weeks, it was $60,000 in concrete tear out. Now, if it was back in the day and my father-in-law was doing that estimate, he would have walked past all that stuff. on this property and said, oh, you know, I don't do that work. But if you are out there and you're collecting the data on what's wrong with the property, then you can put together a bid for concrete, whether you do it or not. You don't necessarily have to get into pouring concrete and doing sidewalks. But if you know that there's a tree root that's lifted a panel on a sidewalk and say 20 feet of sidewalk needs to come out, you can sub that. You can still make money on that as well. Like, the point is to get on the property and give a full safety assessment for that property, whether it be the parking lot or the sidewalk. So we're, you know, we call ourselves a concrete and pavement asset management company. We throw the word concrete in front of there, but we're basically looking at all the safety issues everywhere when it comes to the hardscape services. And like I said, if you go out and you're walking sidewalks and you find areas that need to be torn out, just partner with a local concrete contractor. If you don't want to do it yourself or get into it, and you can make 10, 20 points easily on that sub work. And so, you know, like a $60,000 project, that would add up pretty quick, right? If you were subbing that out and just doing take the gravy, you know, which is the grinding, and then pass that other revenue on. And oh, by the way, at the same time, you're doing a seal coating bid on those properties, or a line striping bid. So it's pretty powerful just to get in front of people.
It's interesting, right? Like when we say pavement assessment, like what do we consider pavement here? Is it asphalt and concrete? Is that what we're going to call pavement? Is that what it is? Because at the end of the day, I want you to think about like QSRs, right? Think about like Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, think about any kind of QSR. What do you think the drive-throughs are mostly constructed of? Concrete, right? And then you have generally, right? Everybody agree with that you got concrete basically in the drive-through lanes, and then the rest is usually asphalt, right? And I know that we'll just say that there's quite a few QSRs out there. Would we all agree with that? Quick serve restaurants, there's a lot of Tim Hortons out there, right? Up in Canada, a lot of McDonald's, a lot of Chick-fil-A's, a lot of Dunkin' Donuts, a lot of different QSRs, national stuff. And those concrete surfaces get oil on them, right? So does the asphalt. You get your lips, your tripping hazards, you get your damaged areas where you're going to have holes that are going to start to form because of water eroding the foundation. Then the pavement can't bear its own weight, so it starts to collapse. And so imagine that you were able to actually do a safety assessment on these kind of commercial properties. And imagine that didn't have a bunch of pricing on it, but instead you're actually doing an assessment. Like you're going out there and you're doing a give for people. And we teach this in our roundup events. For those of you that have been to a live roundup event, these assessments and with our coaching, it's like, we have to help you guys understand that it's not about just shoving a quote down someone's throat. You know, focus on the area, that safety aspect, give that assessment in AK Dash. Like legitimately, we are the only platform that has built a module called the pavement assessment module inside of there, where you fill in blanks and the scopes of work don't have pricing. It's just based upon your recommendations for the property of what they can do to bring it back to a safe, long-lasting and good-looking environment for their pavement. But you have that inside AK Dash. It's been built for you guys. And so leverage that stuff, right? You know, when you think of Jobber or these other platforms, they don't have that. It's not the same. It's not a ultimate sales machine. It's more designed as just a platform to use as a CRM and sending out some bids, but, you know, and scheduling and those kind of things. But we need to take this up a notch. You need a CRM, you need a proposal tool, you need a scheduling tool. Yes. But what if we had some more magic in the assessment realm that really allowed us to build that know, like, and trust between you and a customer? Because who here wants customers for life? Like, honestly, who here wants that? Then I think that we have to do things that are different than the companies that don't. Like, who agrees that right now, I'll tell you, Seth Kohler, who I'm coaching right now at a high level, we're doing 10 hours of coaching, helping him build his business, Busy Bee. He did some coaching with Anthony as well. He just messaged me. He's like, dude, I called 15 companies in my area, 15 companies to come out and give me a paving bid. And guess how many answered out of the 15 calls? Guess how many answered? Raise your hand, put your hand up. Not all 15, I'll tell you that. How many answered? 2 people. Bam, you're right. Two companies answered. One company didn't even take down his information, and the other company wasn't even interested in talking to him. 15 companies. And so I ask you guys, what are we doing that's different than that? Answer the phone for goodness sakes, but what are the other things that we're doing? And I think that that course, or any course that you're going to take relating to whatever you're wanting to build in your future or self-learn, just do it better than everyone else. You know what I mean? Be the best at what you do. And you leverage the platforms, leverage the tools, and don't just come on here in a community and have a conversation and say, oh yeah, these are all great ideas, and then I don't do anything about it. Do really tactically execute on it. You know, like you guys have been given, for those of you for the roundup events, you guys have been given the vault. Like we've given you the AK vault, and a lot of you don't even log into it. You know what I mean? And so I'm saying, step the game up. Let's go, guys. Like, let's do this thing. Let's really step it up. And that's why we're doing this. It's not because we want to get rich off of selling a $500 course. Yes, it's nice to make some money back off the course that we've put about 30 grand into, but the reality of it is it's done so that we can help you guys actually do something out there that is next level beyond the average operator that's out there. Does that make sense? Is that cool? Does that make sense? I'm just being real, right? Skylar, you were going to say something, I believe, but then I went.
No, you're
Preaching.
good. I was gonna say too, once you learn like the basics of grinding, you can get into like even advanced grinding too, you know, like polishing and things like that, where you can make some serious bread, you know, just polishing. You know, anywhere between $5 to $15 a square foot to polish as well. So, you know, you learn how to grind and you learn how to quote unquote, you know, what we would call rough, and you can grind concrete down, or you can grind a surface down and get a flat surface without a bunch of cuts in it. You know, now you know the basics of grinding. And then, you know, it's just like sanding, but, you know, with diamond bits, or, you know, whatever you typically use. But typically for us, you know, either you start with metal bound diamonds, and then you go to resin bound diamonds or electroplated diamonds, and you start polishing, and you bring, you know, concrete up to a shine, or you bring, you know, epoxy, you know, terrazzo up to a shine, or marble up to a shine. But it all starts with learning how to rough. You know, most people can't master that. Most people can't learn how to grind. Most people can't get a surface flat and level first, and then start actually, you know, enhancing it. But, you know, it all starts there, guys. Like a lot of these verticals stem from the basic of learning how to grind and prep a job and get it started and do there. And then there's a million different things you can do. And again, you know, safety concerns, other contractors like myself that would be happy to have somebody come in and grind. You know, and there's money to be made start to finish, from grinding safety hazards to, you know, polishing to all of it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cool.
we've partnered with pool deck resurfacing companies out here. So they sub work to us, and I go out and find projects on my own. You know, we have clients that want pool decks done. We're doing one for Hilton here in a couple of weeks. As soon as they shut the pool down. But you know, we're getting about 8 to 12 grand a pool deck just to go out and rough it up and take that surface coating off if they had a previous overlay or a pebble deck or whatever it is. Kind of like what Skylar's talking about. We just go out and rough up the surface so that the overlay company can come out and do their magic. Just like Skylar would hire a grinding company to come in and do his prep work so he can come in and do his resin magic. There's a lot of contractors out there that require grinding, and they don't want to do that as part of the prep work, because they're, you know, have their staff is, you know, they might be really skilled at like laying resin or laying overcoats, and they just want to focus on that aspect of the business and not do as much of the prep work, which is really simple. But they can crank through their higher margin work, and you can partner with them, and then they'll sub you out. Or, you know, better yet, you go out and find a project, you bid it, and then you sub them to do the finished work. You know, and you get all the grinding stuff. So it works both ways. Partner with other contractors and go out and find them jobs, and they'll find you jobs.
Any questions regarding the grinding business at all? Anyone? Any questions at all?
I got one, just a quick one. I don't know if anybody else is thinking about it. Asphalt Kingdom going to be providing any of the equipment or supplies for that? I mean, not that there's tons of supplies, but are we going to be selling some of the equipment?
Yes, coming soon to an AK near you. Yep. Yeah, coming shortly. In the next week, we'll have it. It's been a fun go. But yeah, any other questions on here? Alex, by the way, that AK shirt on you in the course is badass, bro. I love that. Yeah, I love it. It
The
looks
intro
great.
video?
And then the side,
Yeah.
yeah, it's super cool, man. Like, this is fun.
Love it.
This is fun. Yeah, with sidewalk safety in the back. I just love that. That makes me happy, man. All started with just a quick conversation. That's usually how it does, right? It's like, oh, man, you know, I remember that roundtable night talking about grinding. I remember that. And a year later, you've got $250,000 worth of grinding projects that are running at 70% margin for you. Ha! That would be cool in a year from now to come on the roundtable and say, I rocked a grinding opportunity, crushed it. Markets are huge, helps me go all year round and make a bunch of money. That would be exciting to hear down the road. Not that we have a lot of testimonials at Asphalt Kingdom or anything, or case studies, but you know, I see everybody smiling, winking.
Hilarious.
Go to our YouTube channel. Actually, it's really fun. On our YouTube channel, we counted the number of testimonials that we have coming out of success stories. There's 390 published videos of success stories. What other company do you see 300? I got to give ourselves a prop, man. 20 years later, here we are, right? Rocking it, man. And we couldn't do it without you guys, and we couldn't do it for sure without our coaches who keep pouring into this community. You guys keep doing it out of the goodness of your heart. We appreciate you, man, and we look forward to what's on the horizon continuously. So again, that link is in the chat, and the discount's there, 50 off. The price of $9.99 is what it will be in 48 hours from now. For now, it's $500 if you want it. We hope to see you on the inside of that. And also, once you sign up, you will be getting a special email inviting you to something as well, for a special invite for Alex and I if you sign up to it. So there you have it. And I am going to be going out for dinner with my beautiful wife tonight. So I'm going to hop off. But guys, thank you so much for always jumping on here. Look forward to seeing you guys next week. Same time, same place, right here on the AK Roundtable. Cheers.
Thank you. Awesome job.
Cheers.
Great job, Alex. Thank you. Scholar,
Thank
thanks,
you.
buddy.